Right, following on from my last Ludovico synergy video, you guys have been commenting about certain overpowered synergies you have found, and also just some general questions around game mechanics. I took my favourite comments and questions, then had a little play around with them, and here's what I found. So the first comment said that Strange Attractor stacks with tier multipliers. So I tested this out using Host to see how much stronger the pull got each time. And it only took up to 3 tiers to suck up and kill all of these hosts. This could potentially have been due to the extra tier damage, but you can see the pull is definitely stronger. I showcase this a bit better by just ragdolling Satan about with 7 tiers. It's genuinely impossible to get the enemy off you when the pull is that strong. Now this comment suggested that Eye of Belial with Ludo is OP, but when I was testing this out I actually found the opposite. When Eye of Belial procs on top of an enemy, it then tries to home to the nearest enemy, essentially giving you anti-homing. Just look at how the tier reacts on these fatties. Does an increased tier rate make Flatstone bounce quicker? And the answer is yes. This is a pretty cool synergy. So what items do you think would benefit from hitting the floor faster? In my last video, we established that Tech Zero doesn't actually do anything, but this guy asked if it worked with more tiers, and the answer to this is also yes. You can see the little lightning bolt in between the tiers, which deals a good amount of damage when put on top of enemies. Now this also works with Incubus, however, once you enter a new room, the tiers are practically next to each other with no way of separating them, kind of removing some of the novelty, but still cool. Is Angelic Prism good with duct tape? In theory, this sounds like it would give you a lot more control, as the prism isn't orbiting you, but actually in practice it's still just as difficult to try and dodge enemies whilst also hitting the prism. I actually think this is slightly worse than just the Angelic Prism on its own, especially with enemies that chase you down like this. If you didn't know, Tainted Lilith has one of the best attacks in the game, but this guy found an anti-synergy to make it terrible. Adding Ludovico has a really weird effect I found. Whilst there are enemies in the room, the Ludovico tier doesn't act properly, with it going in the opposite direction to Jello. But once you kill all the enemies in the room, it becomes normal and controllable, just like normal Ludo. Do you reckon this is a glitch? Honestly, you should try it out for yourself because the movement of Ludo when there are enemies in the room is so weird. I tried this combo out using the Forgotten, Flatstone and Lump of Coal, and I found it was an okay synergy for clearing rooms, but not the best one ever. I also really struggled to clear big rooms with it as the tier would just go on walkabouts, but maybe this is a skill issue. This comment said you could control the scatter bombs from Dr. Fetus plus Ludo. However, I didn't find this was the case. Maybe it's a Repentance Plus thing as I am still on Repentance. But when I was testing this out, I had the brilliant idea to give myself Rocket in a Jar. And you can definitely control this one. This basically gives you a controllable rapid fire RPG, and it's really fun to play around with. Again, this may be a Repentance issue, but I didn't find that this guy's comment worked. You would think Brimstone plus Ludo plus Lost Contact would give you a big laser of protection, but for some reason only a few of the shots were getting blocked. I also tried this with technology, but the same thing occurred. See, this confused me as then I gave myself Death's Touch, which blocked 100% of incoming shots. So maybe it's just a laser issue. Let me know down below if you actually know what's going on here. Now, it sounded like this guy had a rough time. I tested out all the items they had before ruining it, and it's a very fun synergy. You can see here it's not massively overpowered, but it is fun. So let's see what adding Ludo did to his run. Yeah, that's a problem. I actually can't describe how much I was fighting with this tier to go where I wanted it to go. Taking this long to kill Pin is very concerning behaviour. This guy wanted me to try out the Snake Charmer synergy, And this combo is very OP without Ludo, but Ludovico makes it even better in my opinion. You basically have to guide Mum's knife near an enemy, and then it will just do the rest. My favourite bit is when you don't even have to touch your shoot buttons, and the knife just flies around the room killing everything. Very cool. Brimstone has some cool effects with 2 of the Pulse Worm trinkets. Wiggle Worm turns into a star-like shape, and Pulse Worm, well, pulses. Now this doesn't have much practical use, but still looks pretty cool. And I tried out all the other worms, but none of them have any visual effects on the Brimstone laser. Ludo plus Continuum can obviously travel through walls and appear on the other side of your screen. And I wondered if this had any synergy with Lump of Coal, expanding indefinitely, but tier size is done on proximity to the character, so it kind of just works as normal. Tractor Beam also had a weird effect where Ludo will respawn next to Isaac if you try and go out of bounds with it. Strange. Now this is the one that everyone has probably thought of. Nord Leaf plus Ludo plus Strange Attractor, basically trying to suck everything into your tier whilst being invincible. This is fairly game breaking, and if you're patient enough it can kill pretty much any monster in the game. Here's a full Hush boss kill in regular time. Nah, I'm just joking, get that boy sped up. This shows the power of Nord Leaf more than Ludovico though, because any passive damage with Nord Leaf is basically just a free win. Okay, so Cricket's body doesn't work as we saw last video, but then this person suggested using Flatstone with it, and this actually works, and it's really strong. You can see me beat this boss pretty quickly with it. On this topic, someone also asked if Deadeye is cancelled out by Flatstone, and yeah, it is. Whenever the tier hits the floor, you lose your damage up immediately. Okay, back to Cricket's body and Ipecac, because funny. So only the main tier actually explodes and the Cricket's body scatter shots don't, which is kind of sad, but I think it would be complete carnage though, if they all exploded. Right, someone said they should make a mod where the Flatstone ball becomes a basketball, and I agree with this. This is the best that I could come up with. You may have seen earlier that the Ludo tier becomes huge with Death's Touch, and the hitbox of it does increase too. You can stack these like normal, giving you a massive area of damage output. And yes, you can also have 15 of them, okay. I went to go retest Loki's horns with increased luck after this comment, and I found a sweet spot at 20 luck where it procs 100% of the time. This is actually an amazing synergy, obviously, but in how many runs do you end up with 20 luck? I also added Parasite to this synergy to see what happened, and it basically just shreds everything. I know Duke of Flies doesn't have much health, but he pretty much just got deleted here. Okay, I saved my favourite synergy till last. If you manage to find Ludo and Tiny Planet with the Forgotten, then the tier just starts flying about the room. It's genuinely a really strong synergy as the tier covers so much of the screen pretty quickly. Can anyone explain why this happens and it doesn't happen with any other character? Thanks for watching, and comment if you have any other synergies or questions about the Ludovico technique.